All right, I am super excited to be here with Antoine Kelly, former second round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers. Antoine, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome, glad to have you on. I'm excited to talk to you about getting drafted, about your time in the minors, and kind of your path going forward here as we end 2021, starting into 2022. Um, First, I kind of asked you off camera, but how was your Christmas?
It was good. We didn't do anything. Just normal Christmas.
Okay, and by not doing anything, do you just like small family, or you
Well,
just
actually, I'm lying. My girlfriend had COVID, and usually I would spend time Christmas
wow,
with her, but that didn't happen. So it was
wow,
just me and my mom. I went to my grandma's house, and
yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. I actually just got a negative test today. So I've been waiting for it. I haven't been able to go into work, so I'm glad that got negative. I had to take in my 4 month old. She got tested. She was negative, and then my 5 year old, he was also tested and negative. So we just had some sort of bug that's been going around, but
yeah,
man, dude, I'm sorry to hear that, especially around the holidays.
I feel like
Just,
everybody's been getting sick.
dude, it's been going around everywhere. Cause like
Yeah,
I said, like my whole family's sick. My three kids, I'm sick. My wife is sick, and like we all tested negative for COVID. It's just some funky bug that's going around, and it legitimately like it hasn't gone away. Like it's just been like lingering for the last couple weeks at our house. Um, yeah, man. Like, and I feel like when you get sick now with COVID, everyone's just like, whoa, like before you used to be
yeah,
like, I got the flu. Now it's like I got the flu, but it's like, okay, like is it COVID? You know,
exactly. It's not fun. Not fun.
no, it isn't. So I want to talk to you about getting drafted. You were drafted second round by the Milwaukee Brewers. But first, when did you start getting into baseball and realize, at a young age, and when did you realize that not only was baseball good or fun, but you were good at it and you had some sort of career in that field?
I didn't realize I could actually play baseball until probably like junior, senior year, where I actually
Wow,
started training specifically for pitching. And
wow. What did you play multi sports growing up?
no, I'm not an athlete, dude.
Really?
No, I can't. No, I suck.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like I realized I think my parents realized very quickly because I was in orchestra. Like I was in band. I did swimming. Like I love swimming. It's super good exercise. I was on a swim team pretty much from like kindergarten to like throughout high school. So I enjoy that. But that's never something I really considered doing like as a career. I wasn't that good at it. But as when it comes to athleticism, like I'm on the low spectrum of athleticism.
Yeah, I feel that. Like I can't swim. I try to play basketball. I look like a giraffe. I, like,
How
every
tall
other
are you?
I'm 6'6".
Okay, well you're pretty tall then. Okay.
Every sport I just look just goofy doing it.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay. So then growing up like in high school then when did you start playing baseball? Like did you ever do little league and you were just like, it's something to do?
I did do little league, but
Okay.
I did little league. I started maybe like I was 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was a first baseman because I
Wow.
was athletic and I couldn't do anything else. So
I
I
did
yeah,
like
just
I did
first
like
base.
3 years of it and I was a catcher.
Yeah. See, like I even tried catching too.
Yeah.
As lefty.
Yeah.
Oh, so awkward.
Dang. Okay. So then when did pitching or what kept you in it then? Like if you weren't like athletic and you were kind of stuck there at first base, what kind of kept you involved in the sport? Was it like a team that you enjoyed?
I
Because
just
you grew
thought
up.
I just thought it was fun. Like
Okay, that's fair.
just like hitting and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know what I was doing.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay,
Going,
so then you grew up in Chicago, so were you a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan?
believe it or not, I was a Brewers fan.
Wow, okay, that's good. And that
It's,
will make everyone listening to this super excited because a lot of my listeners are Brewer fans as well. I actually grew up in Oakland, so I'm a huge A's fan. But now I live here in Wisconsin, so a lot of the people I talk to, I do a lot of Brewers content, and I do some writing too. But yeah, man, that's good that you grew up a Brewers fan. So at what point then, since you weren't athletic, at what point did you realize, or what point did you switch to pitching then, like from first base to pitching, and who suggested it?
well, this is gonna sound terrible, but my little league team was getting blown out, and we just needed somebody to throw. And
Okay.
then they put me on the mound, and then I did pretty decent for my first
Yeah.
time. And ever since then, I've just been throwing. But I
So
didn't actually like learn how to pitch
yeah.
until like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Dang. Okay. So when you were pitching, like how old were you at that point when you got thrown in as a pitcher?
Like 9, 10, something like
Wow.
that.
Okay. Now, did you enjoy pitching but more than first base?
Way
Or did you
more.
still okay, you really what about pitching makes it more, I guess, more interesting to you than first base?
It just feels like, you know,
Contributing more or
center of attention type thing. Even
sure.
though, like right now, I hate being the center of attention, but like as a kid, like that shit's so fun. I love
Dude,
it.
that's wild. Okay. So like you kind of like flip-flop, like you want it to be and I know what you're saying because like even like me, like I feel like a lot of people in life, you kind of want to be like that main person. Pitching, obviously, you get a ton of attention. Like if you're playing football, quarterback, you get a ton of attention.
Yeah.
But now that's kind of reversed because you say you're kind of like shying away from the attention.
Yeah.
So then, when you were in high school, at what point did you go JUCO or did you go where do you go to college at?
I went to Wabash Valley, JUCO, Southern Illinois.
Okay. And when did you walk on or draft or I mean did you do scholarships for JUCO or no?
Yeah, I got a scholarship.
Okay. You had a scholarship?
Yeah.
Okay. At what point did you realize then, like, wow, I can actually maybe potentially be good at this enough to like not only get a scholarship, but maybe further my career as a baseball player?
It was before I went to Wabash. So I got drafted by the Padres in the 13th round in high school. And
Oh, wow.
that's what, like, you're like, well, damn, like I can actually
Yeah.
see how far I can take this.
So were you expected to get drafted? Like, were they kind of talking to you prior to like your senior year and all that?
My agent at the time, that was high school. I want to say it was a senior year, something like that. I had
Okay.
my agent, and like that's when I kind of like started putting the pieces together. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe like that guy wouldn't come up to me if I didn't have like any kind of
Uh-huh.
future.
Wow.
I started putting the pieces together, and then like when the season got closer, that's when like scouts started reaching out, and like that's when I started realizing, like, okay, maybe I can play past high school.
That's incredible. So then when you did get drafted, you were expecting that. Did you like already like have the idea? Oh, you weren't expecting it.
I mean, like, okay, so like I was expecting. I don't know how to word it. Like,
Yeah, you're good.
I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to get drafted where I got drafted.
Okay.
I
Okay.
was expecting to get drafted like super late.
Wow. So then when you get drafted by the Padres, at what point did you realize or think like or what made you decide like I'm going to go back to college versus or I'm going to go to college versus going right to the majors?
Well, like before that, I had just barely started training to be a
Sure.
pitcher. It's been like maybe a year or something.
Okay. Yeah.
I noticed like a huge velo spike, and like I started like being a pitcher. So
Okay.
I figured I might as well just like take the risk and
Yeah.
go to college and get 2 3 years under my belt of training, and then see how far, like how much of a pitcher I can actually become within the next year.
That's awesome. So heading into college, I feel like I can't remember who I talked to just recently who told me the same thing. They felt that they still had so much more to learn, not only as like a pitcher, but like mentally, like physically even, and just kind of wanting more experience just before jumping right into the majors or sorry, not majors, but the minor league system. Do you feel like you made the right decision? Obviously you got drafted higher. So like
Oh,
financially and like you
I
definitely,
if I would have jumped right into the minors after high school, I would have been lost.
yeah.
I didn't. I like was not ready mentally at all. I feel like
Yeah.
just me going to JUCO away from home
Yeah.
is kind of like pushed me to be more mature and like
Okay.
be a grown up, and like instead of just like going from Park Ridge straight to Arizona, I
Yep.
would have been lost.
Wow. Okay. No, that's good to know. I mean, I feel like those who are listening who maybe sometimes are not really thinking like on your side of the things, maybe as like someone who's looking from the outside thinking, wow, why not you got drafted, just go right into the
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
farm system and start your career. But I mean, there's so much more to learn, physically, mentally, emotionally. There's
Wasn't
I say again.
I just wasn't ready to be an adult right away.
And that's fair. I mean, you know what? Sometimes like it's better just to wait. Like, like even now, like I feel like I'm not ready to be an adult, and I've been adulting for a while now. It's it's
Yeah,
not the most exciting thing to do sometimes.
yeah. I still have
So
being an adult.
yeah, yeah, it's not the most fun thing, but you know what? I do enjoy it. Then so when you were at college, then did you continue to have more scouts talking to you because you got drafted after your junior year, right? After your junior.
Freshman year in college, yeah, freshman year.
Oh, you got drafted after your freshman year.
Yeah, the JUCO
Oh,
is a 2 year thing. So I
okay. Yes. Okay. You're right. So second year, but I was thinking 4 year. Okay. So yeah. So after your freshman year, you got drafted in the second round. How was that experience? At that point, I'm sure you were expecting to be drafted
yeah, yeah.
and also drafted high because at that point you have scouts talking to you. How many
Honestly,
teams?
I still wasn't expecting to be drafted that high.
Really?
I mean, at this point, I was like expecting to be drafted.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of relying on it, but like
Yep.
second round, no chance.
Wow. So how many teams were like reaching out to you, whether it's like interviews or the forms that you fill out? How many teams had reached out to you?
Pretty much all of them.
Okay.
Most of them would just go through my agent though. And
Okay.
all of them.
Okay. So then talk to me about draft day. How was that experience? Like you said you weren't expecting to go high. Did you have like like a small watch party perhaps like on that day, or how did it all
Draft day,
walk me through it?
draft day was crazy. So I was having like anxiety all day. It's just like not anxiety, but like I had butterflies in my stomach all day. I was like, when is it gonna start? When is it gonna start?
Hmm.
Um, it started and like I again I didn't want to like have a party because like I feel like I was gonna jinx something. Or if I like had everybody come over and I
Yeah.
didn't get I'd be mad salty. Um, the first round, honestly, it took forever.
Hmm.
And my girlfriend at the time, it was just me and her in the room. Like my whole family was scattered around. Like it was like
Okay.
11 people at this point. Everybody was scattered around, and I remember like the picks going by. My agent called me a couple picks before the Brewers came,
Hmm.
and uh, he told me to just like watch. And then he called me before the Brewers picked, and then heard my
Dang.
name.
Yeah.
My whole family just like rushed in the room and they gave me hugs. I didn't even have time to like think about anything.
Process it. You're just getting
I
bombarded.
was on the phone. I was like this, like oh my god, like holy shit, what just happened? Like
Wow.
it was, it
Yeah.
was, it was sick.
That's incredible. I mean, I can't even imagine like the emotion of finally like everything you worked hard toward in high school and college finally all accumulating into that one moment when the Brewers pick you
Yeah,
in the second round for that matter. Um, once you got drafted, did you go to rookie Arizona? How did that what
yeah,
did happen
yeah.
next?
I was in the AZL for my first year. Or I
Okay.
split it between AZL and low A.
And you got
But
drafted in 2018 or 19?
19.
19. Okay, so then the next year was COVID.
Yeah.
But you pitched in the alternate side, correct?
Yes.
So how was that then with COVID, like completely just not changing just like the sports world, but everything in the world, but specifically the sports world? Like were you expected to go to the alternate site,
No.
or were you just thinking you're gonna take that year off?
Honestly, I was doing live BPs at home
Okay.
playing. I just was gonna take it off. It
Hmm.
got to the point where I was like, all right, it's already like what June, July, whatever it was.
Hmm.
Like nothing's happening. I'm just gonna like
Yeah.
take the off season now.
Wow.
Then I started like my agent told me I was probably gonna go to the development camp.
Yep. Yep.
And
Okay. How was it pitching there? Because I mean, we didn't really have much like any access, like media access, like no one could
it
really see
was
what's
it was college fall ball,
okay.
100%. But like for me, I was so raw and stuff, like which I still am, but like it was very it was good learning for me. Like
Okay.
being around like big leaguers and like people like higher up people,
Hmm.
being around them, like it was a huge learning experience.
Do you
Kind of
feel
like
like that pushed you more? Sorry,
for
I didn't
sure.
mean to cut you off. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there was people or players there who had professional, like they're seeing time in the big leagues, and they kind of gone back and forth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It,
So
it
then,
was kind of like one of those things where you were forced to like learn how to pitch or you're not going to do well
wow.
because they have so much more experience than me. And then, like I said, like before this, I learned how to pitch maybe what 4 or 5 years ago.
That's crazy that you say that. Like it's wild. I'm thinking you were probably this like stud pitcher from like, middle school, elementary even. But
Yeah.
dang, man. Okay. So then when you're in that camp or in that like fall ball or like alternate site, like from all the reports that we heard, you were one of the standouts. Like how did you feel like you did like personally, and then where did the whole injury come in? Because you got injured toward the end of that.
I was injured the whole time. I didn't even know. It was
Wow.
wild,
Okay.
wild. I would be throwing and like my whole arm was swollen, like pretty much the whole camp. But
Wow.
I didn't think anything of it because like I was doing well.
Yeah.
And, like I still had feeling in my hand, and
Hmm.
I was my pitches were working, everything was fine. I did notice a couple times I would have like a drop in velo and stuff, but again, I didn't really think anything of it. Um, I said something when I went to instructs right after that camp where I like could not feel my hand. I would be throwing and it would like take everything in me to throw the ball like over 100 feet.
You couldn't feel your hand at that point?
Yes and no. It's wild. I bullpens and stuff. I could feel it. It just felt really heavy. So I honestly thought I had like that arm. Like, and then I threw a game in instructs and I did fine. But then the next day I woke up, my hand was purple. My whole
Wow.
arm was purple actually.
Wow. Okay.
It was,
I would have freaked out at that point.
yeah, for sure. So I mean, I went in and then like I had them look at my fingers and like it was just so obviously like different colors. Um, yeah, I got it was scary. I got a bunch
So
of tests
what
done.
was it? Like what did you have?
I had thoracic outlet syndrome.
Got you. Okay. And
It was
then
like
so that's pretty much wiped out
yeah.
2021, huh?
Have you heard about that? I don't
I
know.
haven't. No. What is that?
It's like my rib like covering up my vein or something and like causing a blood clot and stuff. It's like I would do this
Yeah.
and I like would just totally lose feeling down my arm.
Wow.
It was wild. And then like yeah, I would just like get purple. It was a roller coaster.
So how was the recovery process for that? How long did that take you to recover? And I know you had mentioned that you're just slowly getting back, but did you pitch at all? You pitched a little bit last year, I feel like, right? In
Yeah,
high or
I
low A?
pitched both low A
Well,
high.
okay.
I pitched. I got back in like what, mid July.
Hmm.
I got back. I felt terrible.
Wow.
But
Yeah, no,
like
I would too.
as far as like recovery though, like I had got my surgery the first week of November. Um, I felt normal to like live a life normally.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe 2 weeks later,
Oh, okay.
but to get back into like baseball
Right.
shape, I didn't feel like normal until February.
Okay. That's fair.
Then I fractured my rib and everything went downhill from there.
Oh, you had another injury.
Yeah, back to back. It's
Okay.
related apparently. I don't know how that works.
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't like some other accident. It was just like in the process of recovering, somehow you fractured your ribs.
Yeah, it was. I was so pissed, dude. I was like ready to start camp, and then
Yeah.
bam,
So how long did that set you up for?
till July.
Okay. So
Like,
you didn't pitch much at all then.
I pitched maybe 20 innings this year.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to like, and were you a starter or they just have you come out the bullpen?
I was a starter.
Okay, so you started what, like 4 games,
At
4 or 5
a time.
games? So, huh?
Two. Did it freeze?
No, you're good. I can hear
Oh,
you. Yeah, yeah.
I pitched like yeah. I went 2 innings. I did one inning in the AZL, and then two, 3, 4.
Okay, so you had like starts, but like they were just very limited.
Yeah,
Was it
very.
just because of your injury they wanted to kind of ease you into it?
Yeah. Okay, so like I just came off of COVID when I went to the affiliate too.
Oh, you had COVID too?
Yeah, I got my ass whooped last year. It was a terrible
So
year.
what didn't happen to you? Because like you what, all these just like what, back to back to back?
Back to back to back. It was the worst year of all time. It was bad.
Wow. Okay. So 2020 was really, 2021 was a terrible year for you. So I'm sure, like looking at the calendar, you're thinking, okay, I cannot wait to get 2022.
Yeah, I would be calling my mom, but this year is taking forever. Like,
Oh, this whole year has like I feel like I can't remember what I saw, but I saw something that posted, and I'm like, oh, that happened like 2 years ago, and then like the timeline was like, oh, You want to know how long this year took? Like this happened like 3 months ago, and I'm like, oh my god,
Exactly.
like this is the longest thing ever. Okay, so what did anything else happen like besides?
Just got my surgery, fractured my rib, caught COVID.
And then you pitched about 20 innings.
Yeah,
Wow.
forcefully pitched 20 innings.
Yeah.
It was a painful year.
Okay. So you felt like you couldn't do more. Like I know some people like some players will be like the coaches say, look, we're putting you on a restriction, but like the player still feels like I'm good to go. You felt like that, like you were happy to be restricted because like everything was kind of painful.
It was super painful. Like
Wow.
just playing catch normally on like an off day, I would just be hanging.
Dude, that sucks.
Terrible.
Like I can't
It's
even
like the
imagine.
reason why I walked so many people this year. Like I would just throw and like I would just want to like drop my whole body. Like damn, that really hurt.
And to have that, like, because the numbers weren't great, but like I mean obviously you have excuses, right? COVID, a surgery, fracture, like there's a reason why you look at the numbers. And like I didn't want to bring it up, but like the walk rate was up and all that stuff compared especially to when you were in 2020 and the alternate campsite when you were just dominating and pitching very well. So was it like how did it feel mentally then? Like how did you mentally stay strong?
I was not mentally strong. I'm not
Okay.
even. I was
Well,
drained.
it's yeah. Dang.
I
Okay.
would like be on the mound. I would just be cussing up a storm. Not even at like the result. I just like the way
Yeah.
I feel.
Wow. Are you one of those pitchers who get like really animated when you pitch? Like, I think of like like when they're just cussing, like you're like a Max Scherzer or like a someone who's like upset all the time, but like in a like kind of like use that to like in a good way.
I don't use it in a good way, but I'd be getting pissed.
Yeah,
I still have to learn how to like use that anger like a batter and stuff. But no, I'd be getting
yeah.
pissed.
2022, the year you kind of find out how to like power that up just to like really focus it and like use it as a weapon almost to just like an extra gear as opposed to just like
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on being in pain next year, so I hope I can
dude,
do.
knock on wood, man. Knock on wood, nothing goes wrong. The 2022 is gonna be a good year for you. Do you know? Are you? Do you haven't probably haven't had any much talk to them, but do you? What are your plans for 2022?
Honestly, the way 2021 went, I just need to have a great year. It's just
Yeah, yeah,
solid. Not even like I'm not even like trying to do great. I just want to have a great year from February to
yeah.
September. Just no setbacks.
I don't blame you. Just like forget, kind of like forget the results, but just kind of focus on just being healthy
Exactly.
and maintaining a full season of just pitching well and finally trying to capitalize on the success you had in 2020. Because like when you do well and then like no matter what, like any aspect of life, right? When you do well and then the next year you kind of have like a setback, it could be frustrating. Like you talk about mentally, like you're upset. Like I feel that even just like with just the normal like everyday life, I feel like once I kind of have like a little bit of success, and then like the next year, the next week, everything just kind of goes. You take 5 steps forward, but like 10 steps back, kind of thing.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. So how was it being in the minors? Like was it because you hear about these stories of like long bus rides and like crappy food and all that stuff. How was it for you? Kind of how was your experience?
The stuff I see on Twitter, I just can't relate to it.
Really? Okay, good. I'm happy. That makes me feel good.
The food is great. Like I don't know. I have not had a problem so far.
Was there
I
a
mean,
huge difference between like low A and high A?
no,
Okay.
not to me at least.
And you're tall though. How were the bus rides then? Because I talked to somebody yesterday. He's 6'7", and he said he hated the bus rides because he was so tall he couldn't get comfortable.
Okay, yeah. So thank God for COVID because we take two buses. So I'm
Oh,
not sitting on the seats like straight up. Like I get to like
yep,
sit sideways and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't mind. It's all right. But
okay.
2019 bus ride was just terrible.
I can't even imagine.
Terrible.
I
You
I
guys,
hate I
you're
hate
paired
buses
up.
in general.
Yeah, you're just paired up, and like you guys are both pretty big people. I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, not a
So
big
then, like, living arrangements, like, were you able to get like a decent setup? Because I know I've heard I've heard, like, I've talked to people and I've heard stories of like, 7, 8 guys to a 2 bedroom apartment, one in the kitchen, one in the living room on a blow up mattress and all that. Like, how was
Yeah,
your setup?
I mean, they threw us in hotels for like $30 a day out of our paychecks.
Yeah.
Threw us in hotels with roommates, so it wasn't that bad either.
Was that because of COVID, or that's just how they operate
I
normally with
have
the
no,
Brewers?
I have no idea.
That's wild. Okay, because you never know, because like everything's it's changed with COVID. Like,
Yeah,
maybe they wanted to be able to monitor people better, like by having everybody in the same like
I don't
location, I
know,
guess.
but it was. I have not had a problem so far.
Oh, hey, that makes me happy. I'm glad. Like, I don't know, because every team's different, right? Like, some teams have like housing. I think the Royals and like a couple other teams have like that kind of housing stuff already built in. Some players or some organizations don't do any housing, and you're pretty much stuck on your own trying to find like a month-to-month lease. So how was it going from like low A to high A? Like, how did you get told, and like what was that experience like? Finally, kind of doing like like a promotion.
Um, well, I got taken out of the game early, which made me mad because I didn't think anything of it. And it was one of those rare days that year where I actually like I felt decent,
Good.
you know.
Okay.
He got taken out of the game. I was pretty tight about that, and then he told me, "It's like you're going to Wisconsin." I'm like, "Damn!" Like,
Yeah.
couldn't let me finish.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
They
yeah,
can't. Well, they can't risk injuries and all that. Yeah.
it's true. And then yeah, I packed my bags and was out the next morning.
How do you like Wisconsin? I guess you probably growing up in Illinois, you probably been here before and all that. But how do you like playing here?
I don't mind it. I mean, it gets cold, but like I've been doing that my whole life, so I'm not
Dude, I
even.
grew up in California, so this whole winter, like it's been 6, 7 years I've been here in Wisconsin, and I still haven't gotten used to the winters. I don't mind it. It's just
Yeah,
I haven't gotten used to it.
from California, it's different. This winter hasn't been that bad. I'm not gonna lie. But, like,
No, it hasn't. Like, we just got like a little bit of snow right now, and then Sunday night it snowed a decent amount here.
yeah,
But like legitimately, dude, I didn't see snow fall until I was like 21, I think, or 22,
yeah,
which
that'll
is
get you. That's
it's wild.
yeah,
I used to have to drive 3 or 4 hours just to see the snow.
that's doesn't sound like a good time, dude.
Well, yeah, you know what? Like, it's weird because like it's my wife. She makes fun of me all the time because like the Christmas song, like I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. She's like,
Yeah,
you've never had a white Christmas until like a couple years ago. Like,
yeah.
like what are you even talking about? But I'm like, it's all right. It is what it is.
It just snowed here. Yeah, last night. It's, it's like the first time I've seen the first actual snow that's stuck
Yeah.
all winter.
Okay.
It's the
So
best.
yeah, you mentioned you were a Brewers fan growing up. Are you not a Packers? Are you a Bears fan or a Packers fan?
I
Or you
mean,
just don't care?
I don't really care. Packers are cool, I guess.
Yeah. So what made you a Brewers fan? Like, that's really random. Not well, I guess not random because it's neighboring states, but
Prince
like,
Fielder.
okay, that's a good answer. That's a good
I
answer. Yeah.
was a huge fan.
Oh, you were a first baseman too, though. Back in your your younger days.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just like I don't know. I just like was a huge fan of that guy.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, let's kind of end this on this here. Looking at 2022, you're hoping to have a healthy, a good season. Looking at the big club, the Brewers, and the success that they've had. Um, how does it feel knowing that you're in an organization that has already incredible pitching? Probably, I would say, arguably the best rotation. Obviously, with the Cy Young winner, Corbin Burns kind of leading the way, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta, all very good pitchers. Um, how do you feel like knowing that you're in an organization that as soon as you get up there within the next year or two, hopefully soon, you'll be contributing to a postseason ready team?
Honestly, I I haven't really thought that far.
That's
I
fair.
I mean it's cool. I mean it's cool knowing that they like. I'm pretty sure the Brewers are they all like from like straight up from Milwaukee?
What do you
Does
mean?
that make sense? Like were they
Like
like
originally,
drafted
like
by
the
Milwaukee?
the Brewers front starter pitching, yeah. Burns, Woodruff, they're drafted by Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta was in a trade, but he was like 17 when he got traded, so he pretty much came through the system. Aaron Ashby. Did you ever play with Ashby or no?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So he obviously was, came up in the system. So they have a lot of homegrown talent, which is pretty good. And like they're still going to be around for a couple of years, hopefully even longer than that. But I mean, it is wild just looking at the talent that they have in Milwaukee, and the talent that they have in the farm system. The farm system has a lot of incredible young talent on the team, including yourself. I actually have to ask you one question. Hold on, let me grab in my phone. All right, so I had mentioned that I was going to have you on, and I asked a couple different people, if they had any questions. And one, I have a couple questions for you. One is, how is it during the lockout as a minor leaguer? Has that affected you guys at all?
No.
No, okay. I figured it wouldn't, just because like you're in a whole different,
Yeah.
But I mean, just looking at like what's going on, like as someone kind of hoping to eventually get to that level of baseball, has do you have any thoughts on that?
I'll be straight up. It's December 30th. I don't really care right now.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like I mean, even me, I'm like, okay, I want baseball to come back just so I have more stuff to talk about. But at the same time, like, as long as it's within reasonable time, like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Another question I had for you is, do you know if there's going to be any like restriction on you pitching wise, or is it pretty much the same like regimen, or is there have you had any talks with how you're pitching, if there's going to be any like innings limits or any kind of limitation on what you're doing next season?
As far as I know, I think I have just a clear path,
Awesome.
clear season.
Good. Glad to hear it. Okay, before we go, what do you do in the off? What do you do when you're not playing baseball? I know you weren't always like you said, you're not the most athletic guy. So do you do sports? Do you game? What does Antoine Kelly do when he's not playing baseball?
It's a hard one too. I don't really. I don't do much. I play the game here and there.
What do you game on?
I have an Xbox, but I'm like huge in Call of Duty.
Okay, I'll have to get your gamer tag. We'll have to play sometime. What do you do, like Warzone and all that, or no?
I suck at Warzone. I'll be straight up. I'm so bad at the game, but
yeah. No, I'm bad. Like I'm like the guy who everybody has to carry, kind of. Like I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be part of your starting. Like I'm the bench guy when it comes to Warzone and Call of Duty and all that. But hey, Antoine, I want to thank you for coming on. I do appreciate that. I hope you have a really good, healthy 2022. Looking forward to seeing you pitch, hopefully live in here in Wisconsin, if that's where you start. If not, further down the road, and also in the big leagues when you get here at some point. I hope you have a really good New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and enjoy the rest of your night, man.
You too. Thanks, man.
I appreciate it.